Dyer's Daily.
So here we are, week 2 of Dyer's Daily, the new batch of episodes, of course. And I, for one, am pretty much enjoying it. I'm enjoying the experience of being able to talk to you for 5 minutes a day about media, about popular culture in general, and just whatever else comes to mind, really. And I hope you yourself are enjoying it also. And I realised there might be some people who listened before, and I realised going over some of the old episodes that there were answers to questions that basically have never been said. So the last episode before we went off, I talked about buying a hi-fi and not knowing which one to choose. I feel that maybe today is the day that we finally correct that, and then we can move on and talk about other things in future episodes. So I was looking for a hi-fi. I wanted something that was going to take a record player and a CD player and everything else. And I was looking really at the old hi-fi separates. I wanted something that was second-hand. However, the problem with buying second-hand on these things is you can never be sure quite how long they're going to function for. And eventually, after much looking, I found one, got it here, and it sadly didn't work. So that one went back to its original owner, got another one, and this time it was from a guy in Brighton who actually restores this stuff. He does it basically as like a hobby, but he was an engineer or something that specializes in this kind of technology. And I ended up getting my hands on a 1985-86 Trio, which is another name for Kenwood, I believe. And I have to say, it sounds lovely. And I've managed since then to get a tape deck and obviously a proper record player working on it. And there really is nothing like listening to a vinyl through a setup like that. I know that we have Spotify and that sort of thing and all the streaming services. I use those regularly and I love them. But for me, there is nothing quite like taking the record out of the sleeve, placing it on the turntable, putting the needle in the vicinity of the groove, pushing play, and away we go. And thankfully, now that I've found this record player, and I realise it's not really of interest to everybody, but to me it was like, finally I can listen to it properly, because I keep all these records around and I wasn't able to listen to them properly, and there's nothing quite like the old-fashioned setup. If you're an enthusiast, what setup are you using? Are you using one like me, or are you buying one of those little mini systems? Or maybe you've just got like a briefcase thing, a briefcase player, which I had up until fairly recently, and then I decided that no, maybe it wasn't the way I wanted to go with my record collecting. So there we are. I've answered that question, and I think that's the only question that I've never answered in a future edition, because obviously we stopped afterwards. But if there are any others, and there is a regular listener out there that knows the answer, then please do let me know via the usual channels. And we will return to this subject, because, well, vinyl is still a thing. It's very much in at the moment. People are still buying them. Bands are still pressing. I often review new releases of old material on vinyl, and I don't know whether it's because of something sonically or maybe it's just psychological, but to me it's nothing quite like it. Right, this has been the Dyer's Daily podcast with me, Jamie Dyer. Remember to rate, comment and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider. You can tweet me at Jamie Dyer89 on Twitter, or you can just go to my Facebook page, which is Jamie Dyer. Right, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you on the next podcast. Have a great day.